So it's very early good morning here from just off Evans Head. We decided, looking at the weather last night, to leave around about 6 o'clock last night for the trip up to the Gold Coast. We were going to stop in at Iluka, but just with the weather that's on its way, we thought we might just keep on going. We motored for probably the first 6 or 7 hours actually. Motor sailed, but then the breeze came in and we've had a pretty nice little sail all night. Been just kicking back here, had the iPad set up, watching a bit of test cricket, a bit of F1, and I've just got the plotter screen here so I can keep an eye on how things are going. Set the alarm every 30 minutes or so just to wake up and check on things. A few fishing boats around the Amber to watch out for, so had a couple of boats coming the other way. Yeah, I had to make a bit of a course change at one stage into the shore just to miss one boat. But yeah, pretty cruisy. It's right on first light at the moment. Fairly flat seas, a little bit of swell out of the northeast. One stage it was a little bit choppy last night, but generally pretty comfy night. Precious is having a little sleep over there. Just crawling along here at 5.5 knots. Only 7 knots of breeze though, so that's pretty good. So I made you do another overnighter, Precious.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I'm a bit tired.
Oh man, you slept all night. What are you talking about? Come on.
You don't sleep. You lay down and close your eyes. You're not sleeping.
Yeah, that's good. We knocked over a lot of miles. Halfway to the Gold Coast. Left about 6 o'clock last night from Coffs, and we're about 12 miles south of Ballina this morning, so pretty good miles. We've just got to keep our eyes out for the whales now. They're all over the place. We're just seeing whales breaching everywhere at the moment, so it's quite a spectacle, but it's a little bit freaky. At one stage I grabbed the wheel a minute ago, saw some swimming across our bow just 50 metres away. Beautiful sailing scene here at the moment. 14 knots of breeze, trucking along, doing our 6s and 7s. Put a reef in a minute ago. It was starting to get a little bit fresh. Forecast is up to 20 knots in this part of the world, but very comfortable, pointing where we want to go and going good speed, so it's about all you can ask. Hopefully we'll be in at the Gold Coast by late this afternoon, early in the evening, something like that. Always the whales go down when I put the camera on. Bit of flipper action. That's quite a big pod, that one, isn't it? That's a nice whale. Yeah. This one out here, Sam. Doing the big tail flicks. Just coming past the front of Ballina now. Put the motor back on for a bit. There's a fair bit of current here and we're trying to race this strong wind warning tonight, so just want to try and keep our numbers up a little bit. So we're just giving it a little bit of a helping hand. We've only got about 9 to 10 knots of breeze here, so just trying to keep our numbers going. It's just a little bit square, about 130, so big pot of whales up ahead again. Let's have a look at them. You can see we're pushing a bit of current here. This is our speed over the ground, speed through the water. So we've got a good half a knot of current against us, I reckon. Flicks up and down a bit, but generally it's about half a knot higher. So we're just going to, you can see we're skimming right in here just north of Ballina, just just going to go around this headland. We'll probably try and stay right in on the beach there and try and cruise up here and see if we can get out of that current as much as we can. Got a whale there. Got a few fish showing as well on the surface there. First ones I've really seen. Yeah, nice little whale tail there. So we've dived right into the shore here to get out of the current. Just coming past Ballina back there. And this is Lennox Head around here. Another famous North Coast surfing spot. Nice flat water in here. I'm just going to dive away from the beach for a bit, so chop might pick up a little bit more, but it's nice and flat now. Got a beautiful morning. Still only got about 8 to 10 knots of breeze, so just motor sailing here for a while. Have a look at our ugly headsail though. Not sure exactly what happened. I suspect it's been wrapped up wet at some stage, but yeah, it's not the prettiest headsail in the world, this one. We took it to Vacuum Wash in Sydney and they ran it through once. It certainly came up a lot better, but it's getting a bit old and starting to delaminate a little bit, so he was nervous to do it more than once. But anyway, it is an improvement. Not too bad shape-wise still, it just looks ugly. Our mainsail, on the other hand, is quite pretty. It could probably come on a bit at the moment, but it's not a bad shape main. I'm quite happy. It's nice and flat, so we're able to flatten it out as needed. 3 reefs. Yeah, not a bad mainsail. Beautiful big long beach there at Lennox. Right up in the distance, see Cape Byron, the lighthouse on top. I just changed course to starboard a second ago, thinking I was about to run these guys over. Now they've turned and gone back inshore. Unfortunately, it's very hard to pick them up at a distance on the GoPro. But they might turn and come back out again. Quite a few in that little pod there. We're just coming along the front of Broken Head at the moment. That's Lennox back there. This is Broken Head. Breeze is up a little bit. We've got about 13, 14 knots there now. Absolutely perfect. This boat seems to love that 13, 14 knots at about 90 to 100 degrees. Absolutely romps it. Perfect day for sailing north here. Nice flat sea, beautiful blue sky, and we got whales to look at. wider. All around us. Sammy back in there getting her footage too. Still waiting for that one big breach that we catch on the camera. There's another set just here. Those ones are pretty close. So here's a bunch of kayakers out from Byron, just sitting right on the headland here, and just over directly underneath the light there's a whale just sitting there on the surface having a little rest. So it looks like these guys are all just going to sit around and wait for it to come past. Should be quite a spectacle for them. Perfect ocean for it today, absolutely perfect. There's Julian Rocks up ahead, a few birds working around here. Very cool. Probably hear them all screaming shortly. Wait for them. Just in the moment. Nice little whale tail there. That was pretty crazy. I can't really pan down because I was just in having a shower and suddenly we were motoring along. We've got the heads all furled up now because the breeze is down to about 5 knots from pretty much behind us, and we were motoring, and then all of a sudden I was just drying off and I heard the motor cut. So I come running up on the deck to see what was going on, and Sam said there were some whales right in front of us. So they've just popped up out the back again. We're hoping they might come swim by us. Love to get some really good close-up pictures, but they're pretty good at dodging you. Got a couple of fairly active whales up in front here. Hopefully we'll just slide past. Bit of tail action, bit of flipper action. Just don't know how well it shows up on the GoPro, unfortunately. A little bit too far away. It's just an absolutely glorious day out here though. The breeze has dropped admittedly, which is a bit of a bugger. We're motoring, so got the hammer down a bit so we can try and get in during daylight. But it is absolutely beautiful out here. This is why you come cruising, honestly. Could not get a better day. Absolutely perfect. So many whales around. Big pod back there in the distance. I'm hoping these guys here might put on a bit of a show for us. They're usually cruising up the coast about 3 or 4 knots. We're doing about 7 knots at the moment, so You tend to be going past them most of the time. As long as we don't run them over, you get to see plenty of them. You can see the swirls in the water just to the left of the sunlight. So I'm expecting to see one pop up very shortly. Come on guys, where are you? I know you're there somewhere. Hiding. Camera shy. It's like they know you've got the camera on. Still their best performing when no one's pointing anything at them. Well, there we go. Hey! It's alright, we're not threatening you. Sam! Very cool. Thank you for that. Thank you. Got a bit more for us still. Finally one puts on a show for us. Somewhere where we could see it. Come over here, dolphin. Over here. Come and swim on out now. Oh, it looks like you might be chasing some fish. It's fairly hooking along. So we're just coming up to Kingscliff now. Just turn the corner there. And we've just got Point Danger. And then the last strip up to the Gold Coast. I'm hoping we might be able to sneak in there at last light. It's hard to not enjoy being out here today. It's absolutely beautiful. Not much breeze, obviously. The main's doing nothing. We've got about 3 knots on the side at the moment, so it's just there for show at the moment. So here we go, last 2 hours of our trip. You'll probably see the Gold Coast off in the distance there, just to the right of the sunlight. Breeze has totally shifted around now. We've got now basically got an east nor'easter. We're motoring still, it's kind of light, but yeah, you can see our disgusting headsail here. It's pretty ordinary, but does the job. It's working all right, pulls us along. We've been doing some great boat speed. Yeah, so we're just trying to chug along. Sunset's at 5 o'clock, which is right about when we'll get there. We'll probably get there about 1:15. Then we're just going to go into what's called Wave Break Island, I think. We've got a strong wind warning due tonight, so we're hoping that's going to be fairly protected. Haven't stayed there before, but there's only one way to find out. It's kind of west-southwest is the breeze direction, so it looks like it should be alright. So it shouldn't be any fetch there. Yeah, so we just charge along. Full main, full headsail, full donk. It's just about getting there now. We're got about 14 miles to go here. Doesn't look like far, it's just there. All good.
For the Gold Coast, expect west to southwesterly winds to 30 knots. Early in the morning, with a combined sand swell of 2 metres.
So it looks like our plan's coming together. We're just approaching the seaway, only a couple of miles to go. Sun's just about to hit the horizon, and we're obviously in the Gold Coast. Pretty unmistakable. What you want. A dredge right in the middle of the leaves. Oh well, do my best. Just below the surface back there. Marines. What's going on here? We've been invaded by the birds. There's bloody 3 of them. Get out of there. Go on. Go away. Shoot. No crapping on the boat. You too. Get out of there. Persistent little fellas, aren't you? Yeah. Well, go on. See ya. So our first day here at Wave Break Island on the Gold Coast comes to an end. It's been a pretty nice day though. Although it's not a great anchorage, the current rips through here and spins you around in circles at times, so we had sort of breeze from all different directions and we pointed all different directions. We were a bit concerned at one point, but ultimately it all hung in, so that was great. We'll see you tomorrow.